In the heart of a quiet village nestled between vast, whispering forests and rolling hills, there was a secret that had been passed down for generations, a secret that could change the fate of anyone who discovered it. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a deep shade of orange, the air was filled with an eerie stillness. This was no ordinary evening. Tonight, the village was waiting for something special, something magical. In the center of the village square stood an old, cracked wooden drum. It wasn't the kind of drum you'd expect to see at festivals, nor was it something that belonged to any ordinary drummer. This drum, known to the elders as the talking drum, was said to have the power to reveal hidden truths to anyone who played it. But only the worthy could hear its voice. The village children gathered around, watching with wide eyes as the elderly Kofi, the village's most respected drummer, carefully set his hands on the worn skin of the drum. The night had come, and Kofi's time was nearing its end. His hair had turned silver, his hands shaking with age, but there was a spark of something ancient and powerful in his eyes. The moment Kofi tapped the drum, the village fell silent. The rhythm was soft at first, just a gentle tapping, like the sound of distant thunder. But as Kofi's hands danced across the drum's surface, the beat grew stronger, clearer, and it echoed through the trees, across the fields, and into the hearts of everyone listening. Slowly, the drumming stopped, and Kofi, with a tired but contented smile, turned to his grandson, Ao. "Come closer, boy," Kofi said. His voice, though faint, carried the weight of years. "It is time for you to understand the drum's secret." Ao, who had always admired his grandfather's skill with the drum, stepped forward cautiously. Kofi placed the drum in his hands and whispered, "This drum will speak to you. But listen carefully, for its wisdom is not meant for everyone." That night, Ao went home with the drum, his heart heavy with both excitement and fear. What had his grandfather meant? The next evening, as the moon hung high in the sky, Ao could no longer resist the temptation. He tapped the drum. At first, there was nothing but the usual sound of wood against skin. But then, a soft voice, one he had never heard before, spoke in his mind. "Beware of those who seek to steal what they cannot understand." Ao startled, dropping the drum onto the floor. He had heard nothing from anyone else, yet the voice felt real, as if it were coming from deep within the earth itself. He stared at the drum in awe. The next few days were filled with strange occurrences. Whenever Ao played the drum, the voice returned, guiding him through dreams and warnings. The village elders spoke in hushed tones about the drum's power, but none of them had dared to use it for fear of its mysteries. Then one night, the voice returned with urgency, "The chief's men are coming for you. They believe your drum can make them rulers of all the land. You must flee." Ao's heart pounded. He knew the chief. He was greedy, a man who valued power above all else. The idea that the drum could be used to gain control of the entire village, maybe even beyond, frightened Ao. The chief had always wanted more than his fair share, and now he was willing to sacrifice everything to possess this mysterious drum. The next morning, Ao packed his things and set off into the deep forest, the drum tucked safely under his arm. He could feel the eyes of the village upon him, but none dared stop him, for they knew the chief's wrath would be swift and terrible. In the dark forest, Ao wandered alone, unsure of where he was going but driven by a need to protect the drum. The whispers of the trees seemed to guide his path, as though nature itself was helping him escape. And then, just when he thought he was lost, he came across an old woman, sitting quietly by the fire. Her eyes shone with a wisdom that seemed older than time itself. "I've been waiting for you," she said, her voice soft like the wind through the leaves. "The drum has chosen you. It's not just a tool, boy. It's a key to unlocking the power of the ancestors. But be warned, power can be a dangerous thing if it falls into the wrong hands. The old woman spoke for hours, telling the Eo story of the drum's origin. It had been crafted by the spirits of the land, who entrusted it to those with pure hearts. Those who used it to seek power would soon be consumed by their greed, but those who used it with wisdom and humility would find the truth in its rhythms. Your journey is not just to escape, she warned. You must pass 3 tests to prove you are worthy of its power. Eo nodded solemnly, feeling the weight of the drum in his hands. He wasn't just running from danger, he was on a quest to protect something much bigger than himself. Days turned into weeks, and Eo's path led him through treacherous mountains and across wide rivers. Along the way, the drum tested him. The first test came when he was trapped by a band of thieves who wanted to steal the drum. As they surrounded him, Jabari played the drum, and the sound carried through the air, revealing their deepest fears and desires. The thieves, unable to resist the truth, turned on each other, and Jabari was able to escape. The second test came when Eo found himself lost in the forest, unsure of which way to go. The drum played a gentle melody that led him to the right path, and he realized that wisdom wasn't about knowing everything, it was about listening to the world around him and trusting the drum's guidance. The final test came when the chief's men found him at last. They had tracked him through the forest, their eyes filled with greed and determination. Eo stood tall, holding the drum before him. As he played the drum's rhythm, the sound echoed through the trees, shaking the earth beneath their feet. The villagers, who had been secretly following, heard the truth of the chief's lies, his betrayal, and his greed. The chief, exposed for who he truly was overthrown, and the village no longer feared him. The drum fell silent, and Eo returned home, his heart lighter. He had passed the test and learned the true power of the drum, not in how it could protect him, but in how it could reveal the truth to those who listened. And so, Eo became a wise leader, teaching others that wisdom is not in power, but in truth. The drum, once again resting quietly, was a reminder that the greatest treasure is not the things we hold in our hands, but the wisdom we hold in our hearts. As the village slept that night, the soft sound of the drum could be heard in the distance, its rhythm echoing in the stars above, a symbol of the wisdom passed down through generations.